As everyone finds their seats, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. My name is Lathrop. I serve on the board for the Nevada Housing Coalition, and I am happy to welcome you all this morning. We are so excited today to have so many people in the room, but we also have the technology for people to parts conference virtually. So if you guys want to look at the camera back there and wave to everyone on Zoom, we're all part of one conference, and we want to make sure that those who are participating virtually are absolutely a part of the day as well. So please be patient with us as we make sure that all of our technology speaks to itself and each other. And who knows what the day will turn into with all of the various videos and technology that we will try to incorporate to make today's program very fun and interactive. I want to say really quickly a thank you to the production team in the back that's going to make this as seamless as possible. They're going to wave us down if something's broken or not working. That's Empower Media Productions, and we're very, very excited to have them on board today for the conference. We are thrilled to be hosting the conference today. This is our second housing conference. Our first one last year was completely online. And while we are holding this event as hybrid, we definitely want to make sure that our main priority is keeping everyone safe. So in this room, we hope that everyone can wear their masks as much as possible. And there is an opportunity to have some outdoor time today if you'd like to take the indoor air. These past 18 months have been really hard on us as we've pivoted into this new reality and working online more than ever before. We'd like to just take a moment today, a moment of silence, to honor those that are no longer with us and those that have lasting impacts from COVID-19. We especially recognize a few from our own affordable housing space and housing work that are not able to join us any longer. All right, thank you so much. Our conference theme this year is Housing Is. You'll see this phrase throughout the day and on the step and repeat by the door, where you can always take a selfie and post it on your social medias. We believe that housing is a multitude of values, ideas, physical and intangible. For me, housing is community. When I think about housing, I think about my neighbors that are the foundation to my community. And I think about all the people in this room and the board members that serve on the Housing Coalition that are building the community of our smart and kind leaders for creating solutions for housing tomorrow. I'm glad that you're all here to keep this momentum going so that our housing and our community is available to all residents in our state. I want to thank our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Anthem and Charles Schwab, our champion sponsors, Wells Fargo. All of our sponsors are found in the programs on your table, or if you're online, the program is shared in the chat where you can see all of the sponsors and the full program and all of the bios of the speakers for today. I want to give a big thank you to all the Nevada Housing Coalition members. We are a membership-based organization and members help us do the work. We provide a lot of programs, education, trainings, and conferences to make sure that our members are learning the most timely, helpful, and best practices so that we can all be moving solutions to housing forward. A big thank you to the Culinary Academy and Nevada Partners for hosting us today. What a wonderful facility. We are so grateful to be here. And for anyone who's here in person, don't forget to check out our vendor tables in the back throughout today and tomorrow. All right, so let's get started. First, we have a video greeting from Congressman Horsford, who, of course, is a longtime supporter of the Culinary Academy and sits on the board of Nevada Partners. So we'll kick it off.
Hello everyone, I'm Congressman Stephen Horsford, and I'm proud to represent Nevada's 4th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. Thank you to the Culinary Academy and Nevada Partners for organizing this important event and for their work in service to our community throughout Southern Nevada. I'm glad to see such a great turnout from across so many different sectors to talk about the importance of affordable housing. Making progress on affordable housing will ensure that all Nevadans have an equitable recovery from this pandemic and a fair chance at the economic opportunity in Nevada's future. Housing is about community. I got my start leading the Culinary Academy for more than a decade, and I now serve on the board of directors for Nevada Partners. So I know exactly how these two organizations are working to support Southern Nevada workers and families. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated many of the struggles that hardworking families throughout the country have experienced on a daily basis. But even as families struggled with unemployment and illness, housing prices in Southern Nevada continued to rise. In the middle of a global pandemic, no family should be worried about losing their home. That's why I've worked with President Biden to pass the American Rescue Plan to deliver relief directly to our communities. The American Rescue Plan and other COVID-19 relief packages included more than $46 billion in emergency rental assistance to help millions of families remain in their homes, and many of these funds are still available to help families in need. This funding includes $10 billion for homeowner assistance, which helps homeowners who are behind on their mortgage and utility payments avoid eviction and even foreclosure. In addition, it provides $5 billion for emergency housing vouchers for individual families who are experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness. This law also provides $5 billion for the Home Investment Partnerships Program to help create housing services for people who are experiencing homelessness. The American Rescue Plan is an unprecedented response to an unprecedented pandemic. Now we have an opportunity to invest even further in families and community with the Build Back Better agenda. With this agenda, we can make a historic investment, $327 billion in funding for new and existing federal housing programs that address homelessness and eviction and help people with first-time homebuyer support. It provides $80 billion in permanent rental assistance over 10 years. It includes $80 billion for public housing repair and renovation to preserve affordable housing and to make sure that every affordable housing unit is a safe place for a family to live. And finally, it includes $37 billion for the National Housing Trust, which is it ensures that we are providing access to more affordable housing. The Build Back Better Act also includes my bill, the Low-Income Housing Energy Tax Credit, which will help underserved communities while creating good-paying jobs and lower energy bills. Alongside the entire Nevada delegation, I'm also pushing for the passage of the Southern Nevada Economic Development and Conservation Act. This is a bill that would make it easier for local governments and home developers to create more affordable housing. We have the opportunity to invest in our future by providing affordable housing to all those who need it, and we can do it by working together. I'm thankful for the leadership we have here in the state, including Governor Sisolak, participating in today's conversation and supporting our recovery from COVID-19 as we build back better. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you all in the very near future. Take care.
We are so grateful for champions like Congressman Horsford fighting for affordable housing for Nevadans. Next up is the Nevada Housing Coalition Board Chair, Bill Brewer. We're lucky to have him lead the coalition board and share his with our work. So Bill.
Have to have you see my beautiful face. Thank you, Ray. Bill Brewer. Here, I'm with the Nevada Rural Housing Authority and also on the board of the coalition. Thank you, Ray, for being such a great part of the board and also for being our MC today. Really appreciate all of your help. And thanks to all of you for joining us today. What a wonderful sight it is to see this room filled with people who are networking and who are supporting housing. It really is an exciting day for me. So thank you, thank you. We also have a bunch of people joining us via technology. We hope that's working. I think Katie's got us all whipped into shape. So thank you, Katie. And to our technology people. We have some exciting discussions and presentations planned for the next day or two. And we look forward to learning a great deal more about how we can further the housing that is so needed here in Nevada. Your being here will make a difference in how we tackle this problem. And if you're a member of the coalition, thank you. If you're not, we'll get you taken care of before you leave here this week. Wink, wink. Thank you to our sponsors, and we especially want to thank our founding sponsors, Charles Schwab Bank and Wells Fargo. In 2018, the coalition was just a dream. And thanks to some push and some initial funding from Schwab Bank and from Wells Fargo, from Nancy Brown and Nancy Hamilton. Hopefully, many of you know the Nancys who've since retired. We have a coalition today. And thank goodness the coalition is on track where it is. We just filed our paperwork December 18th, 2018. So we've only been around almost 3 years. And this is the point we've come to, which is so badly needed in Nevada. So thank you all. Thanks to our board for all of their time and effort in making the coalition a strong voice. And talking about the but-for statements, I especially want to thank Christine Hess. Christine, where are you? There she is, way in the back. Christine's our executive director. I tell you, but for her efforts to get the coalition rolling, we certainly wouldn't be where we are today. We're so grateful to have Christine. Her fabulous leadership and dedication is so appreciated by me, by our board, and all those who've worked with her. And because of the coalition's growth, we've been able to hire Amanda Lakin. Amanda's standing by Christine. Hey, Amanda. And she's hit the ground running and very much responsible for all that we're seeing here this morning. So thank you to Amanda. We appreciate our partners, our venue partners, the Culinary Academy of Las Vegas, Nevada partners, and our virtual production partner, Empower Media Productions, making all of this possible. And I'd also like to thank the events committee who've really worked hard to make this conference what it is. We know you all have additional jobs to do, day jobs, and you put in all extra time to make this possible. So I'd really like to thank Ella Garcia with Nevada Partners, Elena Moulet with Charles Schwab Bank, Hillary Lopez, Praxis Consulting, Katie Coleman with the Nevada Rural Housing Authority, Lisa Corrado, City of Henderson, Jocelyn Cousins, Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, Brooke Page, Corporation for Supportive Housing, and May Worthy Thomas of the Nevada Housing Division. Now, before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to take a moment to impart a couple of thoughts. We're talking about housing is this week. To me, housing is everything. Now, we know it's at the core of every discussion about relief and about the future of our state. Housing will always be a cornerstone of Nevada's success. When we all have a safe, sanitary, and decent place to live, Nevada can truly thrive. And so that is our goal. Nevada is about to see an injection of unprecedented financial opportunity by way of the American Rescue Plan. We are going to hear a lot about this week. The ARPA thread will be woven through many of our discussions, and I'm certain we'll learn much more about it. We're incredibly grateful to our state's leadership for helping harness this opportunity and turn it into actionable plans that will truly benefit our state so we can not only recover from the pandemic, but succeed in the future as well. On behalf of the Coalition Board, I'd like to extend our sincere appreciation to Governor Sisolak, who's joining us today. One of the initiatives Governor Sisolak addressed in his very first State of the State address when he was elected was his support for a tax credit to support the development of affordable housing. What a great thing for a new governor to do. Governor, your dedication to affordable housing and our challenge is appreciated and welcomed, and exactly what we need right now in the state of Nevada. Please join me in welcoming Governor Steve Sisolak of Nevada.
Thank you. I get the mic raised. I appreciate that. Oh, wow. What a full crowd we have here today. And I want to thank you all for joining me, Bill, for that very kind introduction. And thank you to the Nevada Housing Coalition for inviting me here today for this important discussion. It's hard for me to believe, and every day I get up, that it's been more than 18 months since we first asked everyone to stay home for Nevada to help us slow the spread of this COVID-19 virus and pandemic. And when you had the memoriam listed at the beginning of the program and highlighted some of the individuals who's lost their lives as a result of COVID, it really helps put things in perspective and also help us to realize just how important housing is of a factor to so many people and for us being able to emerge from this pandemic. Everyone in this room knows how important role housing has played in our state for a long time, but the pandemic has made it even more clear and more relevant, more prevalent in everyone's lives. But for others, the request to stay home, first time they truly thought about the importance of home and housing and the challenges we as the state and nation face when it comes to ensuring that there's adequate and affordable housing for all, for everyone, that there is equity and equality. Today, I want to briefly touch upon the work that we have done in the last 18 months, because that work set us up for where we are today. And I want to talk about how we continue to move forward. We have already made great by implementing a number of new laws and policies, and there's even more work coming down the road ahead of us. And I'm looking forward to the partnership with all of you as we continue this work together. Since the start of my administration and prior to the pandemic, we've approved more than 2,300 new affordable apartment units and helped preserve more than 3,000 affordable apartment units. Those are homes for thousands of people. $130 million in single-family bond financing has been approved for home ownership opportunities for low and moderate income borrowers. We passed SB 284, which modified the state affordable housing tax credits. And then COVID-19 pandemic hit us, and hit us hard. When Nevadans were asked to stop physically going to work and to stay home, we knew we would have a real and immediate impact on many Nevadans' ability to pay their bills, including their rent. That's why I issued a statewide eviction moratorium to ensure that Nevadans did not lose their access to housing during the darkest days of the pandemic. We also committed $30 million in coronavirus relief funds sent to the state for emergency rental assistance programs. That money also joined dollars put forward by some of our largest counties to leverage those dollars. The eviction moratorium is no longer in place. We are still actively working with partners to distribute rental assistance money. And I was proud to sign SB 486 into law this session, creating what we call a glide path to safely ending the moratorium. This law helps ensure that Nevadans who have applied and are waiting for the rental assistance aren't evicted. And it set aside additional funding to help landlords recoup money they lost during the pandemic. This policy made Nevada a model for the rest of the country to help ease the predicted tsunami of evictions when national and local moratoriums were lifted. And I want to thank Assemblyman Steve Yeager and Senator Julia Ratty for helping bring this legislation to my desk for my signature. During the last legislative session, I worked with Treasurer Zach Conine to kickstart the State Infrastructure Bank with a $75 million infusion of funding and expand available opportunities. We know the construction of affordable housing helps meet the immediate need, but it also creates good paying jobs, and those jobs help families. And for those of you who are constructing affordable housing, thank you. It makes a big difference in a lot of lives. The construction jobs it starts with and the people that are eventually housed there. Going forward, we have an incredible opportunity to invest the funding provided to the state as part of the American Rescue Plan. We've just wrapped up a 75-day listening tour where we traveled up and down the Silver State, all corners, to hear from Nevadans directly about the issues that mattered most to them and ways Nevadans thought we could invest the once-in-a-lifetime infusion of funds in our state. And I want to be clear, and I don't say invest the money haphazardly. I have made it my intention the entire time. It is not my intent as governor to spend this money. It's the intent to invest this money into programs and policy that is going to make a difference in people's lives long-term, not the immediate term, long-term. And if we invest the money wisely, it will have an effect for generations to come. It came as no surprise to me, and I doubt will surprise anyone in this room, to know that housing has been at the top of nearly every discussion we have had. Every meeting in every county in every part of this state has the same issue: affordable housing. Housing was a priority that we did not really need to hold the listening tour to know that it was a priority. We already knew it was a priority. But the listening tour helped bring forward on the ground ideas from those that are most in need and those that are most affected and those that most desperately need our help. As we continue the work, it will be important to me to work with many of the housing experts in this room. It's going to take all of us to move forward with the best possible plans. We're in the process currently of evaluating more than 2,500 proposals received during the listening tour, including the proposal from the Nevada Housing Coalition to invest in a plan for the construction and rehabilitation of affordable housing. That is an investment in affordable housing. This was a big, bold ask, and we're committed to looking at all the funding options and sources available, including funding that went directly to local governments and other agencies, to ensure that we are maximizing our investments and making real change for Nevada together to leverage the funds we got with the other jurisdictional funds to make even larger impact. At the state level, we were also closely monitoring legislation that's on a path now at the federal level for the potential of additional opportunities to expand affordable housing and social services, again, for those most needy. Housing is a complex issue. I don't need to tell all of you that. You understand that issue. It's not a problem that can or will be solved solely by the government. It's also not a problem that can be solved solely by private entities. It's a problem we need to solve together. Your expertise with our abilities and hopefully resources can help solve the problem. Like so many of the other obstacles and challenges we face, we've got to work together as a battle-born Nevadans that we are, to come up with solutions to help our families, to help our children, to help our communities, to help our economy, and to help our state rebuild and thrive. Together, we can transform the affordable housing challenge in the state of Nevada. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you for being here to help solve these problems, to have the debate, to have the discussion, to exchange information, to help us move forward as a state. And thank you for sharing my belief that all Nevadans deserve a home. It is my honor to serve as your governor. Thank you. And I'd like to turn it back over to Ray. Thank you all very much for being here.